This is about the happiest I have been to cover anybody in my time doing this crazy gig over here on YouTube. I said when we got my man Terron Armstead, he was going to be the MVP. I know some people might be more enamored with some other positions. Tua, Hill, Waddle, Chubb, Phillips. I get it. Those are great positions. They're great players. But for me, the offensive line is the heart of football. Offensive line, I say over and over, makes the NFL world go around. And Terron is the heart of this team, of this offense. And I'm going to do a film study today to show you how I feel about my man Terron.
There probably aren't words to describe your emotion.
Now, gentlemen, please. Contrary, there's a very good word. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I want to say it's the greatest tape ever, but in a way it is, but in a way it isn't. Terron is really struggling. I've watched a lot of tape with Terron, obviously with the Dolphins. I did my time studying him with the Saints. And he's always kind of ahead of the curve against other players. There's somebody did some film. Somebody in the comments showed me when he was with the Saints, he went against Garrett and just dominated him, like erased him. It didn't happen this game. It kind of felt that way in the game, but when I went back over the film, I got to see how much Terron had to work. He's got the Achilles. He's got the toe. He's got the knee that was torn. It usually takes 2 years to fully recover. All three of these injuries, same leg, I don't know, whatever it is. He is compromised. But just like the great hero who's got everything against him and still manages to do his job and overcome, that's what Terron did. Veteran savviness, still flashing some of those great skills of agility and nimbleness that he has. He did an unbelievable job given the circumstances. Now, I say that as context. Garrett is a beast. And not to take what you're seeing in the film away from him, because the major portion of some of the losses that Terron had against him was just Garrett being special. But there clearly is a little underpinning of his body being compromised. And that's something I want to get into a little bit later. I learned so much from this film. Studying this film, I might have learned more on the offensive line than I have in a long, long time. Didn't say I got it all right. You know, I'm no genius, but for me, I picked up so much stuff. From the way the staff was handling Terron and also kind of protecting him in some ways. The way they utilized Jones, the whole unit, where they understood this defense and how they prepared and how they activated the game plan and made it go through the run game. And the run game was so critical. If they were passing all day, I think the game would have gone a different direction. Still would have won, but it would have been a lot more dicey. And I just so many great things from McDaniel as the OC and from Terron, from the offensive line, and yada, yada. But Terron was the guy with all these injuries left to take Garrett mano a mano a ton. And it was in the run game where he really made the most amount of his plays. There was a few pass blocks that were critical that he made. And that is what we got him here for. But the run game, and for him to make it through, not the zone stretch, what he's used to, but a lot of inside zone. And the way he went about it with his veteran savviness just made it so special. So, as I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, Terron,
you complete me.
It's a pleasure. So, before I get into tape, I want to give a shout out to you guys for stopping by on my little love affair with Terron. I might not be the full evaluator mindset because I'm just so prejudicial towards Terron. for so many reasons. The guy is a blast as a person, and he's just a wonderful talent, and it's been such a dearth here for so long. Dallas Thomas still gives me like PTSD. There's been so many bad players on this team, on the offensive line, and it's just a breath of fresh air, along with Hunt and Connor, and now Jones and Shell. It's been a wonderful time. So thank you for stopping by here. I want to give you a shout out, and AcePerHead a shout out, because without the two of you, this show ain't going down. AcePerHead's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, without a lot of hype and spiel, we're going to get into the tape and take a look at my man Terron. Look at the film and see what we see. All right, I'm going to start with my man Terron's pass block. It takes away the outside, jump cuts inside to shave the inside move by the defender. It's amazing a guy that big, 300 pounds, is that nimble, but that's what makes Terron Terron. And over here, he's one-on-one against Garrett, rides him around the horn. Tua steps up, trusts Terron, and delivers the football. But what I like is he alters the kick step right there. You see that? The angle, because he wants to get a different kind of depth than he originally planned based on what Garrett's doing, and then he wants to hit him there, bucket of hips, and ride him. That's nimbleness and veteran savviness. Now, the old man, he doesn't have anyone to hit, so he takes the free shot. Take the free shot, old man. Look at that. Oh, I love that. That was a nice shot. On this one, Garrett's had enough of the finesse stuff. Comes at him full force, blasts into him. Terron's fighting for his life, but that's a big play. Right there to bang, pucker into the hips, keeps the feet moving, and fights just enough to get this big play off. And that's about Terron going one-on-one with one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. But now Terron, he alters a kick step right there, and then he gets lit up. But the reason he gets lit up is because one slight misstep. Watch right here. Watch his back left leg. He goes to put it, and it shakes a little bit and doesn't land right, and then he taps his feet down, and they don't get enough base underneath him and bad disbursement of the feet, and he just gets beat. The null one here, you really don't see this too much, but look at his feet. They get so narrow, and then he just gets the swim and an inside move. And I think this has something to do with injury here. But watch, he steps, and look, that's not usual Terron. Narrow base right there of his feet, and then the push by Garrett, and then the swim, and he's just leaning. You can't go against Garrett and have that kind of technique and expect to win. He's just a beast. Can't blame it on the injuries, but I could put a little bit on that. But Garrett is an absolute monster. Then over here is a run game. He does the alley-oop, the swim, gets to the second level, and just gets enough for the runner to get some extra yards. But look what he's got to do. He's got to get past the guy and then cover 5 yards against a linebacker. That's not easy for a big guy. There's no one on his team that could do that except him. But he kind of missed the angle here. And I think he should have taken an outside angle, been more parallel. And then he sees the guy moving to the left, and he realizes that's where the play is going. So he's veteran savvy enough to not hold, but just to grab a little bit and slow it down. And that's kind of what you see a lot during the day, just enough. Over here, he shoves him, gets to the second level, and it opens up a big hole. But look what he does. This is what I really like. And he just hits the defender and gives Jones absolute leverage before getting to the second level, so Jones could totally occupy him and control him, and then he's quick enough to get there and do that. And that's as big a hole as you're going to get in the NFL, and that's a great play. Then on this one, you'll see it's another veteran savviness play. He gets outside, and he just pushes him enough, just enough right there. Gets him outside and realizes the angle, and that's just enough. And here's another one, too. He's got the inside leverage. He's losing the inside leverage, and he's got to do something to stop this guy from getting down the line of scrimmage. But watch what he does. I love this. He gets inside, gets the hand. He already knows. He gets the hand in the opposite side of the shoulder pad, and now he's turning him. You see he's got one hand on the outside and one hand on the side, and he's turning him, but then he doesn't hold. And then he keeps driving, and it doesn't look like a hold, but it kind of was a little bit, and then you can't tackle with your back. That was pure veteran savviness by Terron to get that play off. That was a nice little play. Could have been nothing. It could have been a loss, turned to 5. Then on this one, he gets outside and just bangs, and now he's got him leaning. See, he's not dominating, but he just uses just enough leverage and savviness to make that play happen. Then inside here, this one, he just washes him down the line of scrimmage. And he's got parallel leverage, takes the inside step and gets him moving. He tricks him, and then he just washes him. Look at this. Another one on the inside over here. But you see, watch, the hold again. But it's not a hold. It's a grab. Watch. Gets him here, and he realizes he's losing. And now he just, look at that. Grabs him a little bit. Round the waist just enough. Look at this. He's not holding him. I love that. Pure veteran savviness. Just enough. It gives the running back about 6 inches, but it happens too much for that to be coincidence. And over here, he just dominates, drives Garrett down the line of scrimmage. Play doesn't go anywhere, but that wasn't on Terron. Then over here, washing down the line of scrimmage. He's a key block there. Inside, it's his own stretch, comeback, and he understands what the deal is. And there was a beautiful run after that by Wilson. Got to cover him next. And over here, he gets outside, a little bit of like a screenish look. It's an outside zone run. But no, a lot of guys, he realized the inside guys could get the runner. And instead of getting nervous, he realizes this guy could be a problem. He stops, jump cuts, comes back, and then he just holds him or grabs him enough just to slow him down to make sure that play gets off. And then on this one, he just washes him down and totally dominates. Once he gets the angle, that's really, he's really good with that. Totally dominates here. And this was a major block that opened everything up. And that was kind of Terron's day. Savviness, angles, and nimbleness. Film. All right. You could see there was that grabbiness of just going far enough without getting the call that Terron has really had to use, but also used with such effectiveness. And that's his intelligence. And that's his ability to put himself in position and to understand things and mitigate his weaknesses by a little bit of grabbing. But it wasn't all grabbing. You could also see a couple times he just understood the play. He understood where the play was at. You watch his head go back and forth. He's always assessing. He's always paying attention. Couple of times, though, his technique kind of got compromised. And maybe it was just not feeling right and not moving the way you used to. Maybe it was just sloppy play. I don't know. Garrett is a beast. Took advantage of one of those 2 pass rushes. But for the most part, it was in the run game that Terron really came through. And this is why I say he's the MVP. Some people are Tua fanatics, and that's good. I was a Dan Marino fanatic. Hopefully I become a Tua fanatic. But I remember Dan Marino being the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then he wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread when he lost Dwight Stevenson due to a cheap hit to Marty Lyons. And he took a big step down. He was still good, but it wasn't the same without Dwight Stevenson until he got Webb and Sims. And it started picking up. But then, of course, he had the Achilles and the whole deal. But Dan Marino is an unbelievable quarterback. But without the offensive line, he wasn't the same. Tua, Hill, Waddle, phenomenal. But the NFL is based on the trenches, and then it branches out from there. The offensive line makes the NFL world go round, and Terron's the heart of that. I'm going to do some real interesting studies. I'm going to look to see how he plays after this break, because I have seen his play kind of alter a little bit, and the injuries have taken a little bit of effect. And these last 6 games are going to have some very interesting matchups. Hopefully he comes back a little bit healthy and he's ready to go to the end. We need him. And he is the man. Let's just be happy he's with us today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little thing here. A little giddy, like a little schoolgirl, I know. But, hey, what are you going to do? So, catch you next time. Curtis saying, be well. And to my man Terron, me to you, I want to say this. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with AcePerHead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.